Oh, and they come unstuck. Lady, running down to the riptide, taken away to the dark side. I wanna be your left-hand man. I love you when you're singing that song, and I got a lump in my throat 'cause you're gonna sing the words wrong. Is this movie that I think you like? This guy decides to quit his job and head to New York City. This cowboy's running from himself, and she's been living on the highest shelf. Oh, and they come unstuck. Lady, running down to the riptide, taken away to the dark side.
Emerging adulthood is a stage that many of us are currently experiencing, a time full of change, uncertainty, and growth. For this project, we wanted to dive deeper into what this phase really looks like by interviewing people in their late teens and early 20s. Our goal was to better understand how young adults today are navigating things like college and future plans. Through their stories, we've been able to get a clearer picture of the ups and downs that come with this important stage of life. For our project, we have interviewed many of our peers, asking them questions about college, which is a big thing many of us are experiencing right now. We have a very diverse range of interviewees, and we hope that you are able to connect with some of the things they talk about in our video. Please look at our handout for more information.
So my expectations of college were, of course, like academics. I knew I was going to be studying and classwork and classrooms. I really thought I was going to be in a big lecture hall. That was like my very scarce, scared, thing I was scared of, but it really wasn't like that. Of course, social life, I knew I was gonna be meeting a bunch of new people from all different cultures and all different ethnicities. So yeah, so once I got here, it literally, only thing that proved me wrong was the lectures, cause the lecture halls, cause our class sizes were 15. I remember having a class with just
my expectations for college to come and learn and actually, get a degree. Expectations have been met so far. I've had decent classes.
My expectations were of going to a big school like I had grown up around, and with my dad being a Berkeley alumni. But being here is quite different. It's a lot small, but it's also a tighter-knit community, which I really enjoy.
My expectations of college would be that it was really hard, but it hasn't really been that hard yet, so, and yeah.
Said it.
That's about it.
I feel like for me, it was to I don't know, progress with my music and just find a group of nerds that I love dearly.
If I'm being so real, I don't know, I had always pictured going to Newberry for the music program, so I was really excited to get to know the teachers and to get to know the campus and in the environment. And it's a huge bonus that I've met so many cool people here. I wasn't really expecting to.
My expectations of college was going to be hard, and that was not met.
My expectations of college was that it was going to be hard, but it really isn't that hard as long as you do stuff, you do your stuff.
I thought college was going to be really hard. I thought I was going to be spending my endless nights studying and staying up all night, but honestly, it's not even that hard. I'm really locked in, so yeah.
Alright, so my expectations for college, knowing back then that I was going to be a student athlete, was that I knew I was going to be really busy, and to be honest, all those expectations kind of were met in that way. After 4 years, I can definitely say that it was a very busy time. And other than that, I was also expecting, obviously, to learn a lot about, campus, community life, social aspects, and then of course my education as well. So those are the three main things I would say.
My expectations of college were to just go to school and learn and just live there and be there. My expectations were met. They were also exceeded because I wasn't expecting to make a whole lot of friends. I wasn't expecting to join all these social groups or work groups that I'm part of.
I had pretty realistic expectations of college. Both my parents attended four-year institutions, so they kind of walked me through everything. I think, you know, attending Newberry, that my expectations were met. I feel like I got a well-rounded education and learned a lot of life experiences, not just stuff inside the classroom.
My expectations of college were that it was going to be hard and it was going to be difficult, but once I got here, it wasn't as challenging as I thought it was going to be. And
so my expectations were to keep up with my grades, stay strong academically, and have fun, and my expectations were met.
Alright.
Growing up, I always saw like big schools and movies and stuff, so coming to a smaller school was a little interesting in the way that a lot of people know each other on campus.
Expectation for college, well, for me was to make good grades, and I did and met those goals.
Okay, good. I would say my only expectation when I was coming to college, or one of them, would be I was told it would be a lot different from high school. It would be more difficult, and to a certain extent it is met because the harder part of it is just managing the time for the classes.
My first expectation was, I ain't gonna lie, is to come here to have fun, you know, meet new people, and just run track. Yeah, I met a lot of new friends. I did a lot of going out with my friends over the weekends, and yeah, track was going all right.
Alright, so if I didn't go to college, I'll probably still be working in retail, which is nothing wrong with that, but that's probably what I would be doing.
I'd probably still be working at John Deere, working on tractors and lawnmowers.
If I didn't come to college, I would probably still be working in elementary schools and then eventually work my way to going to college. It was always in my goal to further my education.
Construction. I'll be doing construction right now.
I feel like I would just be working for my parents.
I have no idea what I'd be doing. It's always been such a clear, I gotta go to college after high school.
Yeah.
That like, and I never had a job before college either, so I feel like I would just be stuck. Like, you know, well, what am I gonna do today?
Go.
Food distribution, lawn care.
I'd probably be working as actors.
So ironically, the reason why I did come to college was because I didn't really have a plan B, so I can't give like a definite answer on that. But most likely I would be at home and go to university there.
Probably be working at not the gas station, the grocery store where I work at.
If I wouldn't have went to college, I probably would have just entered the workforce in some way, shape, or form. I guess I would have had to do that, so that's what I would have been doing.
if I didn't come to college, then I would be working with my parents with their construction business.
To a technical college.
Alright. What?
I think I would have become a makeup artist.
That's a great question. Probably in the Army.
I would be continuing working. I would work without 9 to 5 and just continue to save up money and proceed like that.
I'll be a mechanic, I ain't gonna lie.
Okay, so one thing I would say I'm struggling with now, like in adulthood, is balance and balancing different things. As you guys may know, I'm a full-time staff member. I work here. I just got finished with grad school, and also like I'm young, so balancing all three of those and trying to have a social life outside of like work and school can be challenging. But basically how I'm trying to like defeat those challenges, come over those obstacles, is basically having an agenda, make sure I plan out my day, and just make sure that I'm not overworking or overbooking myself when I do have multiple things already on my calendar.
Probably time management. I'm burning the candle at 16 ends, you know. I I'm doing a lot of stuff, and it's hard to try to manage all that at one time. So I'm trying my best to try to delegate that to some other people, especially since I'm in a fraternity. I'm in charge of it. So yeah, I'm just trying to learn how to delegate. Try to
handling. The biggest struggle I'm facing right now is upcoming projects and deadlines as we finish the school year. I'm handling it by doing a little bit at a time rather than procrastinating and doing the whole load right at the very end.
Biggest struggle is Gerald Seal's business ethics final exam. I'm handling that by procrastinating.
Finals, juries,
They don't know what
passing.
They don't know what juries are. The big, like,
Exam for
the
department.
big performance evaluation for music students. So we go and we sing our pieces and we display that we have actually learned things.
I personally try and take as much personal time that I possibly can to myself, just whether that's like actually being able to have time to eat something, because like we said, it's very stressful and very busy that sometimes you don't always get time to eat
or eat like a
just
good decent meal.
Yeah. So I typically will take time to like just eat like an actual meal and just like decompress, whether that's laying on my phone, watching a show, talking to my mom, or just something that's just alone.
I don't really have any struggles right now in Newberry.
Yeah, as it pertains to, college, I don't really have a struggle with college.
My back is very injured, and it's very hard not being able to play soccer and be with my teammates on the field. But just trying to get better in physical therapy and stuff like that. So go Wolves.
Okay, so the biggest struggle I would say that I'm facing right now is figuring out future plans, trying to understand what's going to happen after you graduate, not having everything quite figured out yet. Also, matching my expectations of what I want to do in the future. I definitely want to do something that's related to the skills I have learned over the last couple of years, and not just do anything just to stay busy. So I think for me that's the main challenge.
Finances, I just need to be better with managing money and holding on to it.
Facing right now is balancing work-life responsibilities. I think at this age especially, they both start increasing, so it's really hard to find a good balance of how to do that. So I would say just figuring out like scheduling, time management is still something I have to work on.
My biggest struggle right now is probably time management, is finding the right time between football and school. That's probably what I'm struggling with, and I just need to handle my time better.
Handling out. The biggest struggle I'm facing is handling all of my classes, leadership roles within my sorority, and in academic honor societies. So right now I'm just trying to plan out my schedule by writing everything out, putting everything on a whiteboard, planning out dates and times, and that's how I've been kind of managing my time.
With the time organization, I would probably, time management, I would probably write out my schedule more or just stick to it better instead of just going more random and hold myself accountable. And with the organization aspect, just learn to like put stuff in a certain spot or get a folder for stuff and keep it all together instead of just shoving it in my book bag.
Going to class and injuries.
Emerging adults are in a phase of discovery and opportunity, while also slowly learning to be independent. College, in particular, helps develop important skills and builds community, confidence, and maturity. Many are still reliant on parents for things such as finances and housing, and jobs and passions can change frequently, but all in the hopes of one day finding their place and fully moving to a life of their own. We hope you enjoyed our video on emerging adults. Maybe you even got something from it for yourself. Feel free to ask any questions you have. Thank you.